Hi, wow. This is the first time I'm recording in so long. I feel ready. Okay, let me figure out where to place you guys. Wow, this is super close. Oh, I did not know I could zoom out this far. Yeah, so this plant didn't survive the move, so we're just gonna, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I know. If you're a plant person, I know. It also hurts me to see her like that. Yeah. I'm still in the process of getting her together. The bottom half is doing a lot better, but we're not gonna, you know what, I'll just zoom back in because, yeah. Hello. Welcome to this video. My name is Tochi. I can't even like say with conviction welcome to this channel or welcome to my channel because I don't give it enough TLC, and somehow I have more than 100 subscribers. Thank you. That's great. That's awesome. That's actually really great. Yeah. Ooh. This video has been really long overdue, and I wasn't gonna do it after a while. I just thought, you know what, like life goes on and it is what it is. But the topic came up again, so we're back at it and I'm in the mood, so here we go. This video is gonna be about what happened with me and C3. Sadly. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. I've been asked what happened so many times by so many different people, and it's this whole debacle transpired in June, so it's been well over 3 months. But at the time, like when everything was still fresh, I thought I was okay, but I really wasn't. I fell into like a very, very deep, dark, emotional, spiritual, physical hole, and I just wasn't in a place to speak about it without spiraling. And even still, like it still feels like a very touchy subject for me, just because like, I mean, it's sad, so yeah, but I feel like I'm in so much of more of a better place to talk about it and not like crumble and break up into bits. The intention is to go through this video whole, and I think I will. Like I feel okay, you know, but sometimes the tears just find themselves. But I'm gonna try and keep it together because you know what, life happens and you have to move on, and like I can't just be allowing this to make me feel like negatively all the time. Like it's time to move on. So yeah, the purpose of this video is for clarity, and for closure. Clarity for others, closure for myself. It's really not to make anyone look like the bad guy or to bring anyone down. It's really for me to just say what happened, at least from my perspective, which, I mean, that's what happened. Just so that everyone's on the same page. Yeah. Yes. 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 We'll see. We'll see how I feel throughout the course of this. So I was a leader at my church, C3 NYC, and I had been going there for about 4 years. I started off on their welcome team and then transitioned to their production team, then began to lead their production team at their mother location, and then became one of 2 of their production coordinators for the whole church. And I'm not gonna name names in this video. I'm gonna try not to name any names, because this isn't like to call anyone out or any of that. I don't have an actual issue with anyone. If anything, I'm just disappointed and hurt, but you know, in life people disappoint you and they hurt you, so it's like I'm just trying not to hold on to it. So yeah, I'm not gonna name anyone's name. Being a production leader at a New Age church that relies heavily on like worship and production for their services is a commitment, and you know, like, it's a lot of work. You're the first to get there, you're the last to leave, and then on top of that, to lead a team. So like, you're not only in charge of yourself, but you're also in charge of like other people, and there's a lot of responsibility put on you, and this is all voluntary. So I'm not at all complaining, because I absolutely loved going to C3, and I adored my team. Like, the production team at C3 is incredible, like, and it's led by one of the most selfless, most giving, warm-hearted people that I had the privilege of meeting there. So, you know, being led by someone like that just made the experience so much better. Like, we were a family. It was an incredible team. Great team. It was a lot of work, but you know, like, I knew I was doing it for a purpose larger than myself, so it never felt like work. I never felt burnout, and you know, like, volunteering every Sunday, 3-4 services, how many services you're needed really, depending on the occasion, week after week, for me, like, was the most joyful thing. Like, I was always ready. Didn't matter how my week was going, didn't matter what my Saturday night looked like. Sunday morning, I knew I was going to be at church, and I was ready to serve and to lead and to like just carry the vision. Like, I was just always ready. My experience was positive, and I'd been going there for so long that I thought that I knew everything that C3 was about. And so this whole situation really like felt like I had been hit by a pile of rocks. I did not see this coming. Like, I wasn't I don't want to say I was shocked, because, you know, at the end of the day, it is church, and like, I mean, churches have never been like the most supportive of spaces for everyone. So I wasn't shocked, but I was shocked, because like, this was my family, and I trusted them, and they were the last group of people that I thought would hurt me like this. So yeah, it was just, yeah. I knew that I was a part of a larger vision that I thought was curating a space that everybody felt safe and accepted in. And so because of that, it didn't, at no point did I ever feel like to question how deep that acceptance went. We're also in New York City, and I'm going to a church, a very new age, very hip, very hipstery church that advertises itself as a church for the people. And like, I know so many queer folk that go to C3, like so many, that at no point did I think like to question whether we were accepted there, because it just never, just my experience, like, this whole experience is very shocking for me, to say the least. So there are a lot of details in like how everything came about and the little conversations that were had that I'm just gonna skip over, because, you know, like at the beginning when I started recording this, like I wanted to get into the details, but now as I get into it, like I realize that like this was a lot. This was a lot. At the beginning of June, they were in the middle of their relationship series, in which they were highlighting different couples in the church, and on their social media, they would highlight couples on there too. And under one of the photos, somebody had asked when they were gonna showcase a queer couple. And I was interested to know what their response would be. Even though I don't go to church for validation or acceptance or like any of that, I was interested to see what their response would be, because in my mind, like, C3 was this really open-minded, you know, like, accepting church, and I had never seen them outwardly accept the queer community in that way, but I also was never looking for that. So for someone to go out and directly ask this question definitely sparked curiosity, especially because the conversation about what C3 stance was like a large topic, being that it was Pride Month. So I go and I'm looking at the comments, and then I saw that someone had said that one of her friends had been asked to step down from a leadership role when he came out. And I was like, shocked, because I had heard stories about this. I had heard stories, but like I don't like to go off hearsay. I like to get my information directly from the source, and I was never able to do that when I heard these stories. So now I could, because I knew who made the comment. So I DM'd this person and I was like, what? And she said, yeah, you know, my friend was a dinner party leader and he was asked to step down when he came out. And I got his details and found out not only was he a dinner party leader, but he was also on the production team. And I was shocked, because I'm a leader on the, I was a leader on the production team, and I had no idea this was why he left. Like, you know, I had no idea. So I approached him about it and he confirmed it. And like, yeah, he confirmed it, and I was shocked, because it's one thing to be passive, but then to actively go out of your way to remove people from leadership positions once you find out their sexuality, I think that's just like really low. And it's problematic because that like no one I mean, I don't really know how things are going now. I haven't been there in months, but no one's aware of what C3 stance is. So people are putting themselves in positions to like be asked to step down without knowing that they're putting themselves in these positions. So when he confirmed that he was asked to step down, I went to leadership and I was like, yo, I'm not straight. What does this mean for me? Like, what? And that conversation, it was a really emotional conversation. I cried. But yeah, I was essentially told that I need to step down from my leadership role because I'm not straight. And, you know, the hardest part about that, about this whole experience was that I think that the hardest part was that I felt like this was a space where it was promoted to be like vulnerable, and for that vulnerability to be used to attack you is like really painful. So there are so many details that like, there are a lot of like underlying layers and details that I'm leaving out, mainly because like this video will be like 4 hours long, so I'm trying to consolidate like all the needed information. So once I was told I need to step down, I went onto WhatsApp. I was a part of multiple WhatsApp groups, which is how we communicated as a church, like WhatsApp leadership groups, WhatsApp groups for women, WhatsApp groups for production, WhatsApp groups for like all sorts of WhatsApp groups. And I went on those WhatsApp groups and basically was like, it's like with deep sadness that I have to step down, because C3 doesn't affirm the queer community and doesn't believe that we should be in leadership positions. And so just to clarify, if you are queer, you can be on a team, but you cannot lead that team. And so I was also, the option for me to stay on team but not lead was also proposed, but like I don't even know what that means. Like, leadership isn't like a set of actions, it's like a character trait. So like I became a leader because I was serving on team and had the leadership qualities, and then I began to lead. So like I don't know how I would demote myself. Like I just don't know how that would work. And I did ask how that would work, but I'm like still waiting for a response, and I'm over getting it at this point. It's like fine. So I went on WhatsApp, and yeah, I was removed from some groups before I could get the message to those groups. And then like in others, when I sent them, I just removed myself from the group, because I wasn't doing it to like have a conversation with people. I was doing it because there was a point in which I was asked to like leave silently almost, and like aside from that not being on brand for me, I cannot, especially in this situation, leave silently given the circumstances. Like I just don't, that would like be me doing a disservice to my community. So yeah, I sent that message and left the groups, and then my phone blew up. Like I can't even explain like how many messages and calls I received on different platforms. Like I got messages on WhatsApp, I got FaceTime, I got DMs on Instagram, I got like Facebook. I mean, people were reaching out to me from different churches, from different states, from different countries. People at different levels of the church were reaching out to me. Like it was honestly, like I was very taken aback, because I mean I'd been going there for a while, and I'd met like a lot of people at my time there, but I didn't think I would impact this many people that I also didn't know. So it was really shocking and like somewhat overwhelming, because I was now dealing with the fact that I had just been cut off from my family. Like I had access to this group of people, and now I don't. So trying to deal with that, and then like also receiving these messages like, oh my god, what happened? Like, are you okay? Like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. But I really appreciate people reaching out, because I needed that. Like I really needed that warmth, and I needed that love, especially in that time. Like I really, really needed that. So I really appreciate everyone who reached out, everyone who like gave me like words of affirmation, everybody who gave me words of comfort. Like I really, really needed it. And like at the time I may have responded very short and cold, and that was not like, I wasn't trying to be short and cold. I was just really hurt and very overwhelmed. So thank you to everyone who did that. I really, really appreciate it. It meant so much, and it still does mean so much, because people still reach out. So yeah, thank you. I got the types of messages I received like outside of like the words of comfort were like, even people who don't think that queer people should be in leadership positions were still like, C3 stance isn't clear enough. So like they don't agree with how this was handled. I got people who were like, that's wild that they're not affirmative of the queer community. I had no idea. I had people come out to me. I had people coming out to me, whoa, like, which also I was so touched to like, I was touched that people felt safe enough to do that with me, given like the environment that was currently transpiring. And like, at least for me, like I was very confused on who I could and couldn't trust. So I was very, very grateful that people saw me as a space that they could trust. I also had people who were in leadership positions, so who had just joined team, say that they were going to stay closeted so that they could stay on team and stay in leadership positions, which is also really sad. Like, it's sad that people feel that they need to hide themselves in order to have access to like this space that claims to be accepting of everyone, you know? So yeah, that happened. I also had people tell me that they'd experienced the same thing as me, but that they left silently. Multiple people actually tell me that like, oh, this happened to me 2 years ago, this happened to me a couple of months ago, and I just didn't say anything. I just found a new church. And I was shocked, because being that I was in a leadership position, I thought that I knew enough, you know, but I didn't. I was barely scraping the surface in terms of what I knew. So that was also really shocking to me. I went on Instagram and I like opened up questions that people had regarding this whole situation, because whilst this was happening, I was very vocal about it online. And I went on Instagram and had people ask questions, and like the questions, I got so many questions. And all I wanted honestly was that C3 make their stance very clear, so that no one is left like wondering, like, are they affirming, are they not affirming? Because had I known what C3's stance was, I would have never put myself in a leadership position. I would have never put myself in a space where I knew I could have possibly demoted if I got found out. Like, I would have never done that. I would have just quietly like attended church, and left it at that. But I didn't know, so that's how this happened. And so I met with 2 people from leadership, and you know, like, we spoke things out, and they spoke about changes that were happening in C3. They confirmed that if you are a part of the LGBTQ plus community, that you cannot be in leadership positions, but that you can serve on team. They said that from now on they are going to, during leadership training, which is a training you have to, or team training, sorry, which is a training you have to take if you want to join team, they'll make it very clear there what their stance is. And I believe they added like a statement to their website, I think. They also, there's also this like church website that lets people know what a church's stance is on like women in leadership, what their stance is on how affirming they are of the LGBTQ plus community. And I believe C3 updated their profile on that, so I need to find that. But yeah, I believe they did that. And so I guess like changes are being made to make their stance more clear. The question that I still have that's left unanswered, as I mentioned in the beginning somewhere, was of course, like, I have been told a number of times I'm always welcome to come back, that they want me to come back, that I can still serve on team. But like, this is a very traumatic, it's a very traumatic experience for me, and it's hard for me to occupy the same space that was also the cause of so much pain for me. And like, to be on team but not lead it, I don't know how I would naturally do that when like I'm a leader, you know? Like, how do I, like, what parts of myself do I have to let go before coming to church in order to just serve and not lead? I don't know. I really just don't know how that would work. So, and I also can't be in a space where I know that like my growth in that space is limited. Like, I can serve, but like there's a cap on how much I can serve and where I can serve. And like, I've been in a leadership position for so long that it's like I can lead a team. There's evidence and there's time and there's history of me doing that. So to be demoted because this part of me was, oh God, you know what, like, whatever. I'm still really hurt and really disappointed. Less so with like the church, because like, as I said, like my expectations are really low when it comes to churches and acceptance. But like very specific people, like there are people that I spoke to every week, every Sunday. Like we would speak to each other like every Sunday. And now, nothing. Like absolutely nothing. I mean, dead silence. So that's painful because it makes me feel like my only use there was when I was like almost like a commodity or like available to serve, but now that I'm not, it's like, oh, move on to the next one. So I feel almost like disposed, which really sucks, to like be speaking to people on a weekly basis and then not be speaking to them at all. Like, I not only lost my family, but I lost what feels like I lost great friends. Like, the respect I had for a lot of people plummeted because of this experience. Like, just completely drove down to the ground, which is sad because, if anything, I like to have respect for people. So, and when I lose respect for people, it takes longer to gain it for it to be gained back. Yeah. So, at the moment, I'm not actively looking for another church in any way, shape, or form. I still feel like very tender in that I'm not ready to like potentially put myself in a similar position. I'm also not ready to shop for churches and like try and figure out whether I'm accepted somewhere or not. I'm also just questioning a lot when it comes to religion, period. Like, so many questions. I have so many questions. If anything, I'll say like my faith in God has been strengthened because I now no longer feel that I need the community of church in order for that to feel like strong. I no longer feel like church, I would explain to people, was like my breakfast for the week. I no longer feel that way. I think I've been forced to figure out how to have a relationship with God without church being in the equation. I'm in a much better place than I was when this first happened. When this first happened, I was a wreck. I was a mess. Like, I was crying all the time. I wasn't eating. I couldn't sleep. Like, oh my gosh, it was just bad. It was bad. Like, physically, my body was just like freaking out. Emotionally, I was freaking out. Spiritually, I was freaking out. Mentally, I was freaking out. It was just bad. It was really bad. So if anything, I'm so glad that I made it through that hump, because it was a hump. It was deep. It was hard. It was really, really hard. So I'm glad I made it out of that. And so many great things have like happened in my life. I got a raise at work, which was nice. I moved. What else? I just feel like this year has been one filled with growth and understanding myself better, and gaining a lot of strength in areas that I may have neglected in the past. So all in all, like, I'm really happy. There are always spaces to grow more and to find happiness. But I'm very content and satisfied with where I am now. If this situation has taught me anything, is that I should always just be prepared. Like, I don't mean for that to sound like be prepared to be disappointed or hurt, but more so don't be shocked by anything, and to remember that everything happens for a reason. And yeah, that's it. That's it, yeah. If you have any further questions about this, please feel free to reach out. I am so available to talk about this and delve deeper into it. I feel a lot stronger, like I'm in a lot more of a better place to talk about it, to answer questions. And for the people that reached out and said that they wanted to talk one-on-one, I now feel able to do that. Yeah. This video wasn't to make anyone look bad or, you know, put anyone in a bad light. So if you feel that way, maybe that's a guilty conscience. Don't know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure.